Welcome to Module 2 of the Strategic Planning phase. In this section, we explore how to identify and verify hazardous substances in construction materials. You'll learn the basics of safety data sheets, or SDS, and environmental product declarations, known as EPDs.
In construction, we often work with both chemicals and materials, and these are regulated differently. Hazardous chemical mixtures, such as adhesives, sealants, paints, solvents, must legally come with a safety data sheet. Other construction materials, like insulation boards, gypsum wall boards, or floor coverings, don't have an SDS. We can obtain information about their chemical content from an Environmental Product Declaration, or EPD. If a material contains any substance of very high concern, manufacturers are obliged to disclose it. While SDS are mandatory under the EU REACH regulation, EPDs are voluntary.
Next, let's take a closer look at safety data sheets, what they are, and why they matter.
A safety data sheet is an official document that provides essential information about a chemical substance or mixture. It is required by law to ensure safe handling, storage, and use. An SDS details the chemical hazards, potential health and environmental risks, and instructions for safe working practices. It also includes information about the chemical composition, including hazardous ingredients. For installers, workers, and building managers, SDSs help ensure safer product selection and safer day-to-day work with construction chemicals.
Every SDS follows the same structure: 16 standardized sections. These cover physical, health, and environmental hazards, handling and storage guidelines, protective equipment, and emergency procedures. The most important sections for assessing health risks are Section 2, Hazard Identification, Section 3, Composition and Hazardous Ingredients, Section 8, Exposure Controls and Personal Protection. These sections tell you what the hazards are, what ingredients are involved, and how to protect yourself.
Section 2 tells you whether the chemical is hazardous and how it is classified. You'll find hazard classes, categories, and hazard statements, often shown together with pictograms. When selecting construction chemicals, avoid products classified as carcinogenic, mutagenic, reprotoxic, or those with severe acute or organ toxicity. Choose safer alternatives with fewer or less severe hazard classifications whenever possible.
Section 3 lists the ingredients and their concentrations. Even if a product is legally compliant, it may still contain hazardous substances. To minimize risk, choose mixtures with the lowest possible amount of hazardous chemicals. Selecting formulations with safer components helps reduce exposure for workers and building occupants. Certain chemicals should be avoided altogether. The first group is volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. These include substances like acetone, toluene, benzene, and xylene, commonly used in paints and varnishes. VOCs evaporate during and after application, and inhaling the fumes can cause nausea, headaches, and irritation. Whenever possible, choose low VOC or zero VOC products, ideally less than 10 grams per liter, and prefer water-based paints.
The next group to avoid is formaldehyde and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives. These are often used in paints, adhesives, and certain types of pressed wood products, such as particle board or plywood. Formaldehyde is a known contact allergen and carcinogen. Even low-level exposure can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat, and increase sensitivity to allergens. Select materials and chemicals that are free from formaldehyde and formaldehyde-releasing agents.
Another group of concern is isocyanates, used in foams, adhesives, coatings, and flooring products. Isocyanates can cause skin irritation, allergic reactions, asthma, and serious respiratory problems. Exposure can be especially high during spraying applications. Whenever possible, avoid products containing isocyanates and choose safer alternatives.
Now, let's turn to environmental product declarations, an important tool for assessing the environmental profile of construction materials.
An environmental product declaration is a standardized, third-party verified document that describes the environmental impacts of a product. It is based on a life cycle assessment according to EN 15804 and ISO 14025. EPDs provide transparent and comparable data on a product's environmental performance. They are widely used in procurement, sustainable construction, and green building certifications such as BREEAM and LEED.
EPDs describe the full life cycle of a product, from raw material extraction to end of life. They include key impact categories such as carbon emissions, resource consumption, energy use, and waste generation. They also include product composition, technical specifications, and a declared unit, for example, 1 kilogram or 1 square meter, to allow fair comparison.
EPDs must include a content declaration that lists the materials and chemical substances contained in the product. Importantly, they must identify any substances of very high concern when their concentration exceeds 0.1% by weight. EPDs, therefore, help you spot hazardous substances in construction materials that don't come with an SDS.
EPDs and SDSs serve very different purposes. An SDS focuses on chemical hazards, safe use, and legal compliance under REACH and CLP. It provides hazard classifications, risk information, and instructions for safe handling. An EPD focuses on environmental impacts based on life cycle data. It does not provide full hazard information, but it does disclose the presence of substances of very high concern. Together, SDS and EPDs give a more complete picture of both safety and environmental performance.
Substances of very high concern, or SVHCs, are chemicals that can cause serious and often irreversible effects on human health or the environment. They include substances that are carcinogenic, mutagenic, or toxic to reproduction, persistent, bioaccumulative, or toxic, or those with endocrine-disrupting properties. These substances are listed on the EU REACH candidate list and must be disclosed when present in a product above 0.1%. Thank you for exploring this module. For more information, visit the NonHazCity3 project page at interreg.baltic.eu.